All right, let's jump right into it. So once again, I want to welcome everybody here tonight. My name is Travis Flaherty, and I'm excited to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, which is cryptocurrency. For those of you that don't know me, I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal background. So I've been married for almost 20 years. I have 6 children, just dropped one of them off at college up in Utah this week. It was definitely an emotional time for my wife and I. What was funny is I don't think he was as emotional. He was super excited to get going and get started in his life, but we just got back from Utah, had a great road trip. We love entrepreneurship. Been an entrepreneur for my entire adult life, owned a number of different traditional businesses, both in the health club world, used to own health clubs, used to own a lead generation company, and have also been in the direct sales industry for the last 15 years. Direct sales has been really good to my family and led me into the cryptocurrency space. And I'm excited because I spend most of my time today teaching and educating people about the world of cryptocurrency so that they're in a better position to be able to profit from it. So we're going to be sharing some of those gems with you here this evening. A little disclaimer, first of all, I am not a financial advisor, so nothing that I share with you tonight should be misconstrued as financial advice. These are my opinions that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. Obviously, there's risk involved with cryptocurrency. There's risk involved with the stock market. So you never want to be smart about it. Don't ever want to put more money into anything that you can't afford to lose. So with that, let's jump right in tonight. So we've chosen to partner with a company called Kuvera and use that as a platform to be able to teach and educate people about the world of cryptocurrency. So give you a little bit of background on the company that we are partnered with. It's a 5-year-old company. They have an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, which is very important. The owners have been in the financial education and financial literacy space for over 40 years now. One of the cool things about our company is we are the only publicly traded company in the United States that is in this space providing both crypto education, Forex education, buy-sell alerts, and everything that you need to essentially get started with mining. So why is that important? Because right now in the cryptocurrency space, I would dare say that as much as 90 to 95% of the companies that are out there are operating in the gray areas at best. And so it was important for us to align ourselves with a company that we knew was legally legally compliant with the Security Exchange Commission and doing things above board ethically. So we're happy to have found that company. We are not a company that offers guarantees. Guarantees are illegal. We do not provide for on the mining side. We're not selling mining pools. So right now, one of the big concerns out there in this space is companies are promoting mining pools, which means you buy in and share the overall profits of a mining pool. The problem with that is mining pools have been deemed a security. And unfortunately, now you have people that are out there that are promoting securities that are not supposed to. So a lot of these companies are getting shut down. So we are one of the only companies that's out there that actually has a 1-to-1 equipment to customer ratio. In fact, we'll send you your equipment if you'd like. So we'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. Daily deposits directly into your coin wallet. We don't require you to set up a coin wallet with us. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means. The building that you see on the screen is actually our corporate offices. We took an old railroad station in Salt Lake City, Utah. We remodeled it. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. It's also important because a lot of these companies, they don't really have offices. They don't really have owners. You don't know who, you can't ever really figure out who the executives are. All of that is, everything is above board when it comes to Kuvera. So let's start off by talking a little bit about just the evolution of money for a moment. So first of all, everything started off on a barter system. I might say, Sam, I'll trade you, my chicken for 2 of your cows, or, I might trade you, Joe, some of my sugar for some of your salt. Things evolved to eventually gold bars, then metal coins, but they were pretty easy to counterfeit. Then we arrived with our fiat currency system, paper money, and then we went on to plastic cards, debit cards, and credit cards. I very rarely even carry cash today because, everything's on your card. And then, of course, the electronic system, payment systems came, Venmo and PayPal. You can even send money with Facebook today. There's cash apps that you can send money real time, instantly. And then, of course, digital currency. And everything is moving in the direction of digital currency. Now, it all started back in 2009. A guy by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, well, they at least think it's a guy. No one really knows who he is. Could be a group of people. There's a lot of different theories on what that is or who he is, but the first decentralized digital currency was introduced by Mr. or Mrs. Nakamoto. What does that mean? It means that nobody controls it. Bitcoin is not a currency for the government. It's a global currency for the people. And just to give you a kind of a little bit of a history on why they released this, back in 2008, we had a collapse. The economy collapsed. And they were wanting to take control back from the people that really caused that collapse in the first place, which were the banks. And that's essentially why they introduced this peer-to-peer payment network. Think about it. Here in the United States, we have the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve oversees all of our currency. And this is a privately owned institution. A lot of people don't know that, which means that it isn't government controlled, and they can print as much money as they want, which is kind of scary because you see some of these governments like over in Africa where they keep printing money, and pretty soon people are walking around with like $10 million bills in their wallet that aren't worth the paper that it's printed on, right? So they can control our economy essentially. What people don't realize is fiat currency, it's not backed by the government per se. It was removed from the gold standard back into the 70s. So how is cryptocurrency different? Why is it more efficient? So let's say that you went this morning to your favorite coffee shop. Maybe you went to Dutch Brothers, maybe you went to Starbucks, you bought a cup of coffee and you swiped your debit card and you paid for it. The first thing that happens is it goes to the merchant. From there, it goes to the merchant's bank. From there, it goes to the payment processor. From the payment processor, it goes to the payment gateway. All of these people are in the middle of your transaction. And whether you see it or not, they're all taking their fees. And it's built into the costs of everything that we do. So cryptocurrency, on the other hand, is made possible by something called blockchain technology. The blockchain is the peer-to-peer network. And I want to give you an example of how it works. So let's say that Alice here wants to send some money to Bob. So the details of that transaction are created and formed in what's called a block. And that represents the transaction. That block is broadcast to everyone that's on this particular blockchain network. And then there's people that are competing to approve these transactions. They're called miners. And when that transaction is validated, the block is now added on to the blockchain. The chain is a permanent, non-reputable, and transparent record of that transaction for all of time. And from that point, Bob would receive that money from Alice. Now, you might say, well, how is that different? Well, let me give you some real examples. So let's say that, I'm working here in the U.S. and I'm sending money back to my family over in Asia. And so, which a lot of people do. And I actually have some friends that do that. And so let's say that I'm working here and every week when I get my check, I have to go send that money. So, I've got to go to the bank, I've got to wire the money, I've got to fill out paperwork. It typically takes several days to be able to send that money. And then there's regulatory agencies that are taking their fees out. The banks are taking their fees out. It arrives, and then before it arrives, it has to go through a currency exchange. And then they get that money, and now they have to go down to their local bank, and they have to either cash it. There's a whole process that person would have to go through. On the other hand, let's say that I wanted to send Bitcoin to my family member. I could send it in about 120 to 150 seconds. It would arrive, and the fees would be absolutely nominal. In fact, recently, someone sent $99 million of Litecoin around the world. It took 150 seconds, and it cost 40 cents. So for those reasons and more, it's faster, it's cheaper, it's free of government oversight, at least for right now. There is some regulation coming in, which is a good thing because it's going to help stabilize the currency even more. But for those reasons and more, this is a currency that is being widely adopted around the world. In fact, there are many people that are out there that believe that crypto will do to fiat currency what Netflix did to Blockbuster. Think about it. You guys remember Friday nights. Friday nights, 10 years ago, you had to get to Blockbuster early, right? You had to get there by at least 6 o'clock if you wanted to get a good movie. You got there late, all the good movies were gone. But what happened? So all of a sudden, this thing called Netflix comes out. No one's paying attention. And in fact, Blockbuster had an opportunity to even buy Netflix. I think it was for something like $15 million. They said, why would we ever want to do that? But guess what happened? After a few years, all of a sudden, people started realizing that it's faster, it's cheaper. You don't have to take the movies back and pay the late fees. I promise you, I still have Blockbuster movies hidden somewhere in my house that never made it back that I paid for. So they realize now all of a sudden you don't have to do that. It's faster, it's easier. So what happens? All of a sudden digital starts to take off. Blockbuster didn't see it happen, and it was gone. We are moving from a brick and mortar society to a click and order society. I'll give you another example, Toys R Us. You know, I was kind of sad to see the giraffe standing there in the picture holding his little suitcase, and he's got his little vacation shirt on, and he said, I guess all of the kids grew up. Why is that happening? Because the world is moving digital. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Our currency system is outdated. It is completely outdated. And that is why digital currency is becoming such a hot topic of conversation, one of the hottest topics of conversations in the world today. To give you just an idea of why we're all here, I want to put something into perspective for you. So had I spent $1,000, invested $1,000, 10 years ago into 15 of America's favorite companies, this is what it would be worth today. 51,000 Netflix, not bad. Amazon, 12,000. Starbucks, 4,600. Had I put $1,000 into 15 of America's top, or not America's, the world's favorite altcoins that are out there, Bitcoin, and then 15 of the top altcoins, this is what it would be worth approximately today. So this is the reason why we are here, for the potential. Now, if you're paying attention to the news, you're seeing cryptocurrency in the news every single day. It's kind of an interesting time that we're in, because in 2017, crypto was fueled by hype and fear of loss. You had a lot of the industries that they weren't sold on cryptocurrency yet. They were sitting back, kind of watching. But a lot of these coins were going up. Everybody had a friend that made money in Bitcoin. So people were running down to Coinbase to set up their Coinbase wallets. In fact, at one point, there were more people signing up for Coinbase on a daily basis than Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram combined. So people were rushing in. They wanted to be a part of it. But what happened? We had a correction in January. By the way, all markets go up, all markets go down. You can't have steep gains without steep losses. The stock market, January of 16, lost $1 trillion inside of 1 month. But what happened after that? The people that chose to get involved at that time went on to make a lot of money. It's no different here. So there was a correction. A lot of these investors that didn't really understand what they were getting into pulled back. But an interesting thing happened in 2018. The industry started moving in. So I'll give you some examples. The retail industry has come in full throttle. They're scrambling to figure out how to catch up, how they're going to be able to accept cryptocurrencies. You've got all kinds of different companies that are in the news adopting cryptocurrency every single day. The banking industry, so funny, the banks have spent the last several years telling you that cryptocurrency is bad, don't touch it. They've even gone as far as to say, we're not going to let you use your debit or credit cards to even pay for it. But what are they doing? If you watch what they're doing, they're investing in cryptocurrency. They're hiring cryptocurrency traders. What that means is they haven't figured out how to profit from you yet, so they're not going to tell you about it until they do. So in the news, every single day, you've got companies like Yahoo that are buying up cryptocurrency exchanges. You've got Starbucks saying, listen, we're testing new stores that are only going to accept cryptocurrency. You've got their executive, the owner, saying, look, it'll probably be the currency of the future. You've got Jack Dorsey, founder of CEO, saying, listen, I believe digital currency is going to replace all currency inside of the next 10 years. You've got Goldman Sachs that are hiring cryptocurrency traders. They are acquiring cryptocurrency. Their top executives are leaving to move into the cryptocurrency space. 1/3 of all wealthy individuals in the world today are either in cryptocurrency or planning on entering into cryptocurrency in 2018 alone. 96 countries active around the world, companies that you and I do business with every single day. Shopify just announced that they're going to accept 300 coins. Microsoft, eBay, Time Magazine, all over the world, companies are scrambling to accept cryptocurrency. If you take a look, the market cap fluctuates. It's gone down over the last couple of weeks. We've had another dip. We're in the probably 250 range right now. It's been as high as 324 within the last couple of weeks. Yes, it does fluctuate. What's kind of interesting about this is that if you look at all of the dollars in circulation, there's about 1.5 trillion US dollars in circulation. Some people believe that over the next few years, it's possible that there could be more cryptocurrency in circulation than US dollars. Now, a lot of my friends say, I missed out. I wish I would have gotten in sooner. And it's easy to feel that way, but let me just put something into perspective for you. So, first of all, anytime something comes along that disrupts the status quo, I'm talking about changes the way that we live our lives, right? I'm talking about in the old days, there was a time where people couldn't even imagine that you'd be carrying around a phone in your pocket and then it would replace your landline. In the old days, there was a time where people couldn't even imagine why you would want to have a device with music on it because you had a Walkman. There was a time where people said, why would I want a smartphone? Why would I want a computer on my phone? So there was a time, right? Well, here's the interesting thing. As these new innovations came along, the natural instinct of society is to say, why would I want that? Because they don't like change. We get comfortable. We get set in our ways. But then you get these innovators that are like, well, listen, this is a good idea. It's faster. It's cheaper. It's free of government over all these different things, right? People go, well, wait a second. This does make sense. And then you get these early adopters come along. And I'll give you best analogy I can give you. 1994, the internet just came out. Less than 1% of the world's involved. People were saying it's a fad. Why would you want to surf the internet? But if you were on the internet at that time, just even being on it, you probably made a ton of money. Well, that's exactly where we are with cryptocurrency because less than 1% of the world is currently involved in cryptocurrency. The timing could not be any better. If you look, in fact, at just the global adoption and the speed to market of technology today, it's astounding. You go back in the old days where you look at how the automobile or the TV or even airplanes or all, computers and all these things, it took a long time. Today, the world is moving much faster. It's spinning much faster. And our currency system has yet to catch up. And what you're seeing right now is the evolution of our currency system. Now, why I like Kuvera is because they get it. They understand. Look, one of my favorite success philosophies and mantras is if you want to make a lot of money, figure out where people are going to get there faster. So what we do is we provide everything that you need to get involved on the mining side. We also provide education. So you can start learning about cryptocurrency and how to make money in the cryptocurrency space. But Forex is hot too. So we also provide education on the Forex side and tools and technology that allow you to be able to profit from that space. And finally, we also provide tools and resources that allow you to get control of your spending, allow you to pay down debt and free up cash flow so that essentially you can start putting money into some of these different income producing assets that we have available to you. Crypto one I like because most people don't understand crypto. I was in Utah this weekend. I was hanging out with some friends. Crypto always comes up in conversation, always does. And they all have questions. And, the first person says, why would I want to put money into something that's, still so volatile? I can go buy gold and I'm still going to have gold. So we get into these questions. And then as we start talking about it a little bit more, they start opening up a little bit more. It's all about it, just education. So what Crypto One is it provides valuable education. In fact, it's a coaching program where you take some of the top $1 million coaches that are out there that are providing the services of webinars that you can plug into either on demand or live and start learning about how to invest. If you want to trade it, if you want to buy and hold, if you want to, all these different questions, what coin wallet should you use? So they provide the education. They also do research and analysis. And this is really what I use it for, is I love that they send out trade signals. I am not a trader. I'm just going to tell you guys this. I'm going to admit something right now. Trading is just not my thing. I have tried to learn it. I've been on a lot of our courses and training programs, and they tell me about these candlesticks I'm supposed to see, and I literally think that it's just looks like my kid drew on a screen. This is not my thing. But what I can do is the trade alerts come out, and I can go execute those trade alerts. And I'm making money doing that because it doesn't require a lot of my time. So the trade alerts are very, very popular. And I'll give you an example of just kind of what those look like. By the way, this program, it's $149 a month. But just to give you an idea, I just took the second quarter and the trade alerts that came out. We had just launched this program. So there was the first 12 trade alerts that came out, 14 trades, 12 of them were wins, 2 of them were losses. Average profit was 334%. Average trade was 111% profit. So all I'm doing is going to Binance or my favorite exchange and just executing as I get the emails and doing what they tell me and letting them do the research. And then we have the same thing on the Forex side. We have the coaching, but we also have the trade alerts. But this is something that I really want to spend a little time on. We have a program called Rise, and it's an auto trader. We have a history now of 700 days of profitability. The past performance, now, by the way, this is my disclaimer, past performance is not indicative of future performance. We can't guarantee it's going to keep doing this, But 700 days of profitability, 2% per month, 24% annually, set it and forget it. You basically go in, you set up your risk tolerance. You can start with as little as 25 bucks as you want, and you let it do the trades for you, and you don't have to do anything. And to me, I like things that are high speed, low drag. So that is another income producing asset that I'm super excited about. So that's another program, $149 a month. Just to give you an example of trade alerts here, we had 108 trades, 70 of them, 69 of them were wins, 39 losses, so great win-loss ratio, 168 pips per week on the average trade that was being sent out. Most people typically do the all-in pack. It's 199 bucks and it gives you access to everything. And I'll tell you guys, if you just start executing some of the trade alerts that are being sent out, or if you just set up that auto trader, it'll offset the cost associated with your all-in pack right away. And now I'm getting all of this fantastic education for free. So both the FX one, it comes with the crypto one, and it comes with the financial tools as well. And finally, our financial fitness tools. Sorry, I've got a little guy that just came in here, so apparently someone was supposed to be watching him, but that's part of how doing business from home. So the financial fitness tools are overlooked a lot, but they shouldn't be, because it's software that allows you to essentially get control of your spending. A lot of people don't know where their money is going. So just by getting your spending under control, you can start to pay down debt and ultimately free up cash flow to be able to put into some of these other income producing assets. So this is all part of the all-in program as well. And then of course we have our mining. And let's talk a little bit about mining for a moment. So the best way for me to explain mining is, if you've ever heard of Aesop's fable before, the goose that lays the golden egg. There's this farmer that one day discovers this goose that lays these golden eggs, 1 egg a day. He takes the eggs to market, starts making money. Eventually he gets greedy, doesn't want to wait, and thinks that he can figure out the source of the eggs. And so he essentially ends up killing the goose to try and figure out where they're coming from. And it begs the question, which was more valuable, the goose or the egg or the golden goose, golden egg or the goose? And I think that we would all agree the goose was more valuable. Well, here's kind of the best way that I can describe mining. I can go to a cryptocurrency exchange and I can buy crypto, or I can own the machines that essentially create that crypto. And those machines are giving me access to the crypto at wholesale prices. That's essentially what crypto mining is. So it's expensive computers that use an algorithm to solve complex mathematical problems. And when those problems are solved, a block is added on the blockchain, and a reward is paid out to the computer owner. So the screen that you see, the picture that you see is actually one of our data centers in Romania. It's 130,000 square feet. Behind this glass in a highly secure facility is all air secured equipment, and it's your equipment. And like I said, if you want us to send you the equipment and you can want to do it on your own, great. But what we do is we provide packages that essentially take care of this for you. So mining is the golden goose. You know, the challenges with mining, I've had a lot of friends that have tried to do it on their own. Number one, the upfront cost of the equipment can be expensive. It consumes a lot of energy. Energy is expensive. It's super loud, runs super hot. It can be difficult to track the difficulty rates of over 1,500 coins that are out there on the market. There's ongoing maintenance, firmware updates, very time consuming. So what we do is we provide packages where we do all of that for you. So we take your equipment. Again, this is your equipment. It's no different than if you went down to Best Buy and buy it. It's one of the key ingredients that puts us onto the legal and ethical and safe side is this is your equipment. You're not buying into a mining pool and sharing proceeds. This is your equipment. And what we will do is we'll install the hardware. We'll set it up for you. We'll take care of the maintenance, the optimization, and we'll take care of all of the energy. And you get paid once a week into your coin wallet, and you don't have to do anything. It's just literally over the next 3 years, you're going to get paid. So our equipment's in Iceland and Romania. We have some of the newest technology that's available. One of the unique things about us as well is we have an algorithm that determines the most cost-effective cryptocurrencies to mine at any given time. Now, this is very unique because what if Ethereum goes from proof of work to proof of stake? Or what happens in some of these scenarios where the difficulty rates go up? We have the ability to be able to navigate that and look at what is the most profitable coins to mine at any given time. We're currently mining Ethereum Monero Dash Ethereum Classic, and the way that you pay for your mining contract is either with any of these Ethereum Monero you can pay for, or excuse me, Bitcoin or Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and wire transfers. It takes about 10 business days to set up your equipment, and then you'll start seeing those weekly deposits. And we pay out in the form of Ethereum. So everything is paid out in the form of Ethereum. Now, why Ethereum? A lot of people ask that. Well, number one, 94 out of the top 100 blockchains are built on Ethereum's blockchain. Number two, the word Ethereum has been Googled 110 million times just this year. Steve Wozniak says that Ethereum could be the next Apple. Ethereum is projected to become the next biggest cryptocurrency in the world. China ranks it as the world's best blockchain, and the SEC recently came out and said that it is not considered a security. So those are the reasons why. We also have VIP concierge services. So for people that are interested in compounding, right? Compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. We've got a compounding program at $25,000. You can literally start taking the proceeds in month one that come in the form of Ethereum, and you immediately already have enough coming into your coin wallet to repurchase additional equipment. And you'd be amazed at just if compounding 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years out, what you can accomplish with your asset just by compounding and acquiring additional hash power. So we can take you through those scenarios individually if you'd like to learn more about that. In closing, when it comes to building true wealth, I've been fortunate enough to travel the world talking about this topic. And one of the pillars that I always talk about is moving from a linear income to a residual income, right? Linear means you're trading your time for dollars. The problem is there's only so much time in the day, whereas residual is passive. It's whether you go to work or not, you get paid. And the key to develop residual income is to acquire income-producing assets. And some different examples of income-producing assets could include real estate. You might own real estate, and maybe you're collecting rent each month, or you own properties that are cash flowing for you. You own a business, and that business is paying you. Now, in my case, most of the businesses that I owned, I was married to them, so wasn't necessarily passive, but in some cases you can develop passive income. And cryptocurrency, there are some different vehicles inside of Kuvera's platform that can also be passive income. For example, the auto trader with the Forex, the trade alerts, the mining, those are passive type of assets. And to me, my goal is to acquire enough income producing assets that it builds up cash flow. We also have a business opportunity for those that are looking to get involved as a brand promoter of Kuvera. And you can actually enroll as a distributor. You don't have to. In fact, about 80+% of the people that are in my organization, they're enjoying our products. And what's really cool is they're making money without having to sponsor or recruit anybody into the business. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, Travis, look, if I don't have to sponsor or recruit anybody and there's a way for me to make money, call me. And that's what's really cool about our program. 4 of the 5 ways you can actually make money without doing that. But the 5th way is a great opportunity because you can build a leveraged income. And the idea is that you make a little bit of money off of a lot of people that are all just doing a little bit. They're going out and they're talking about the different products that Kuvera has to offer. And I can tell you that there is a lot of people that are having success here. These are some of the people that are in our organization, Crypto Club, that have done very well here within the last couple of months. Sean O'Neill, $5,000 bonus plus commissions just here in the last couple of months. Jamie Rodriguez, the same thing. We've got Tiffany McCormick, who has also hit that same milestone. So we've got people that are winning here, and that's really cool to me because I've been a part of programs where very few people win. You get 1 or 2 people that are at the top of the company, and those are the only people that you're talking about. People are legitimately winning here, and I think it's because it's pretty simple to just have a conversation about cryptocurrency, and that conversation usually ends up with an invitation to just learn more. We're not really pitching an opportunity. We're just providing free education for people that want to learn more about this space. And as people learn more, they're curious now about how some of our individual programs work, and we answer their questions. And if you're able to do that, you can build a massive business here. And in the age of the internet, with social media, telephones, it makes it very convenient to be able to build a business. And I say this kind of jokingly because I've been in health and wellness for 10 years, so please don't get offended. I say this jokingly, but I'm just really happy I'm not hosting shake parties on Wednesday nights anymore. It's very refreshing to be in this space, in this conversation. We've enjoyed it. John McAfee says you can't stop things like Bitcoin. It'll be everywhere, and the world will have to readjust. World governments will have to readjust. And I firmly believe that we are about to witness the greatest wealth transfer in human history. So in closing, there's a couple of different ways that you can get involved in our company. The people that attend these webinars typically fall into one of four categories. The first category are the people that just want to start learning. So we have our Crypto One. You can start learning about Crypto One for $149. We have our FX One, which is Forex education. It's $149 a month. It's $169 to get started and then $149 a month, or $179 to get started, $149 a month. Most people do the all-in pack. It gives you access to all of the tools that we talked about tonight, the crypto, the Forex, the auto trader, the financial fitness tools. So those are our education. The second category, the people that maybe want to put their money to work for them. And our mining is fantastic. It's a great place to do that. I wouldn't recommend putting 100%. People always say to me, how much should I put in? Well, that's really up for you to decide based on your risk tolerance. But most financial experts will agree with me when they say that, most people's portfolios should contain a certain percentage of riskier platforms. And, if you wanted to take 5 to 10% of that and put it into mining, the risk is there, yes, but the potential is pretty significant as well. And so we are heavily mining right now. I'm a firm believer in it. And so that allows you to put your mining to work for you. The third category may not have money, but they have, or they're willing to invest their time. And that's where the business opportunity comes in. They are willing to, or you can trade your time to essentially build a business that creates residual income for you. And finally, the fourth category is all of the above. So I would recommend that you get back to the person that invited you here, let them know kind of what your interest is, and then they'll meet with you privately, and we'll go through and answer your questions specifically, whether it's about mining, whether it's about the business, and we'll kind of make sure that you have all of the information that you need to make a well-informed decision. So with that, once again, I want to say thank you very much for listening in tonight. Once again, my name is Travis Flaherty, and I appreciate the time. For those of you that are involved in our business, we do have a Freedom Call that's coming up here at 6 o'clock.